Thank.
Thank. Barkan. Uqim.
Hi, Lusine Jan.
Hello, hello.
Hello. So we just finished the Armenian version of our topic, and hopefully it will be not boring for you to do the same things in English. But for our English-speaking audience, it's very useful and important to listen because each even like if you listen the same thing over and over from the different people, the same experience, it brings like more courage, more power to you. So you one day you decide also to try to pass all those things. So I would like you to tell your experience and your feelings with the food and cleanse part and mental part and meditation. What was your experience?
Sure. Yeah, I don't think it will be boring. And yeah, happy to do the English version too. So I would like to start from the cleanse part because that's why that was the primary purpose of me coming to you and wanting to start the process, because I had tried to fast on my own several times actually, to kind of give my body a rest and clean my like digestive tract and stuff. But I was doing it on my own, and I didn't have a lot of knowledge in that regard. I hadn't done a lot of research. I didn't have a lot of knowledge. I didn't know whether I was doing the right way or not. And I always, not always, but for several years, I wanted to do like a cleanse that is more profound and would have like more profound results. So when we started the cleanse, the way it sounded first, it was a little bit not scary, but I was thinking that it would be much harder to go through. But then when I went through it and during the process itself, I kept thinking that, oh, this feels better than I expected. And as I mentioned in the Armenian, the Armenian version that we recorded, during the first part of eating just raw fruits and vegetables, I kept thinking that this feels so good, like I am feeling great and I probably should do this all the time. Because like physically I felt so light and like there was a feeling that everything that I need I am getting, and then everything else that would be added to this or cooked food or something would make me feel not as good as I'm feeling right now. And then when it was the time for drinking the juices and then the water and then juices again, um, that part went actually again easier than I expected it to. And it was only maybe 1 or 2 days that I felt like weakness. But the rest of the time, I felt like I kind of was surprised that I had a lot of energy. I was getting everything done that I would get done otherwise. I didn't have to kind of take extra rest or take extra breaks. I worked through this whole process, like I didn't take any time off. Well, I shouldn't say that. I timed it so that the drinking water part was on a long weekend. So I can talk about that part, but for the rest of the time, I worked. I worked full time. I was working from home. I think it helped, but I worked full time, and I was like as productive as otherwise. So yeah, and at the end, having that feeling of finally that you have cleansed your body and you got rid of a lot of accumulated stuff from your digestive tract, that was pretty rewarding. And so yeah, I am glad I went through the process, and I would do it again.
Yeah, and what kind of physical changes you felt, and mental changes, because as you told in Armenian version there were like different changes like physical and mental and other.
Mm-hmm. Right. So in terms of the physical, again, like usually people go through this process, not usually, but a lot of people go through this process because they have a certain issue with like health issue or some condition that they want to help or cure. That was not my case. So I didn't have a specific thing that I was trying to address, a specific issue. But at the end, when I already went through the process, and I was kind of on the started eating like normally again, I found out that my skin, not only it got cleared a lot, which was kind of expected, but also I felt like my skin got tightened, like all over my body. So that was a surprising thing, because when I lost weight from the fasting and doing just the juices, I couldn't feel that. But then after I started eating again and gaining some weight after that, I felt that my skin got tighter, and also my muscles got tighter. So so that was kind of a nice byproduct or side effect that I was not expecting, and was nice to have. Mentally, um, I I found out after the fact that surprisingly enough, there were some feelings that I didn't even realize I had, like slight feelings of stuckness or fatigue, not physical fatigue, but mental fatigue that went away. And I realized only after they went away that they were there before that. So that was an interesting kind of realization to come to. I guess I had those feelings because like those feelings appear with the age, and once I got rid of those feelings, it kind of made me feel much younger than I was before I started the process. Um, what else?
And also about this germophobia feeling that you got rid of.
Right, right. Yeah, I was not germophobic per se, but I was kind of borderline. Uh, I everything had to be like sterilized and really like clean and stuff. And if it was not, it would like
Get on
get
your
under my
nerves.
skin. It would bother me, and but I was not like really germophobic. But this process, the process of cleansing and meditation, again, sort of like I was not aiming at getting rid of that because it was not like debilitating or like or getting in my way of like living my life or anything. But again, like as a side effect, surprising side effect, I noticed that things that used to bother me before are not bothering me anymore, and I am much calmer when it comes to stuff like that, and I don't react the same way. It doesn't get to me the same way.
Yeah,
So.
because I will tell you this thing that why it's happening, because when you feel more like detached from the nature, as
Mm-hmm.
more you're afraid of the nature, like that the nature can harm you, or is the same is happening when we go to hiking to the mountains. There are some people who are constantly, they have this fear of snakes or something,
Mm,
and and usually those guys are meeting more snakes than those who are not afraid.
right. Yeah.
And when they like usually I tell them that you accept the mountain like your home, and that
Mm-hmm.
you are at your home, your place. It's not that your house, your apartment is your home. This is real your home. So you
Right.
you feel, you really accept it and feel free there. And step by step those people, they get rid of those feelings of this fear of meeting the snake or whatever. And
Right.
this germophobia is one of those things that you kind of detach yourself from the rest,
Mm-hmm.
and you want to clean your own area, and
Mm,
the rest is the rest, and yours is clean.
right. Yeah. Oh, actually, since you mentioned snakes and stuff, uh, remember I was telling you that about going outside and feeling connected and stuff. So I was
Mm-hmm.
barefoot and I was doing some garden work. I was weeding or something or planting flower. I can't remember. I think I was weeding. And then I felt that a snail got on my foot, and usually, usually I'm not a big fan of slugs and snails because they're slippery. And previously, I wouldn't freak out, but it would be an unpleasant thing. But in that state, I almost kind of felt it was almost a welcoming thing that snail was on my my
She
foot.
trusts you.
So yeah, so it was, yeah, it was an interesting that connectedness with everything around you was kind of manifested itself like that, and was an interesting experience for me because it was kind of, I was surprised at myself that I felt that it was a welcoming thing that a snail got on my foot. So.
Yeah. And besides that, as you did the meditations, like concentration meditation and with meditation with parents,
Mm-hmm.
I would like you to tell a bit about this. What kind of, let's say, new doors it opens in front of you, like uh, because usually, with my experience, what's happening is people, they can't even be suspecting that there are those kind of tools or this kind of doors is possible to open, and they all their life they live with some reality, and then they understand that there are some, let's say, user manual inside your body, your mind, that you can trust and use, and it will
Mm-hmm.
open some new vision. So uh,
Right.
about your experience.
Right. So, when I started the meditation, and again, like as I confessed, I didn't, I have, I don't do a lot of meditation. I didn't do a lot of meditation. So, but it's something that I want to still pursue. Um, but and I didn't know what to expect out of it. But was interesting to uncover different layers. You would do a meditation, you would uncover a layer, and then you would think, oh, this is great, and then next time it would open up again, and there is another layer there. Um, so I started meditating on my parents, and first of all, for me, it was kind of going deep in yourself and understanding stuff that you have now, where it's coming from, and why, and how things are the way they are. And then, like, doing that meditation on your mom or your dad, it helps you to clean a lot of the stuff that is stuck there, that you wouldn't know how to get rid of before. And maybe you didn't even realize that it was stuck there. It was like, it was interesting. It was interesting to kind of come to some realizations through the meditations, things that you realize about your relationships with your parents, and that leads to your relationships in your life, with about everything, not just personal relationships, but also the way you act, the way you are, the way you behave, or the way you react to things. It was, yeah, it was an interesting experience. And again, like, I'm not done meditating. I haven't done a lot of it, but I'm still going to do it more, to see what else is out there for me to discover.
And as you mentioned in the Armenian version, I think it's very important. So to repeat it here, about this ability to feel people, like, as you say, like in their shoes, like to understand, really, like to have this compassion, to understand their motivations and their situations, so not be actually angry, but more understand them.
Right. The It brought up a great deal of empathy in me. And by empathy, I mean, like, you start understanding exactly what that person is going through and why, and stuff that would, like, anger you before or irritate you before. You are starting to understand the underlying cause of that person acting that way or being that way. And yeah, it was kind of very profound experience, to realize why that person does the things he or she does, and then having that empathy helps you not have any, like, irritation or anger or anything. Like, the only thing that you want to do is help that person instead of being mad at them. And it helps you a lot too, to get rid of all those like, irritations and stuff. So yeah, that was interesting.
And I want to explain to you and for others who are listening, how this process is possible and happening. It's when you meditate, basically for your parents, because the parents are the most important people in our life. Those are the ones that brought us to this life. So uh, that's the major thing. And uh, there are many things like in our vision which are clouded because of here and there some issues with our parents that happened. So when we meditate on our parents and we clean those cloudy effects, and because what's happening is when we imagine them in our heart, this heart in the light, this light is having this purifying effect on the connection. And it's good for them and it's good for us, like it's both on both sides. And when some issue is solved, then you start to feel others as well more deeper. For example, if someone has some problem with the father, then that problem can cause that with other men, let's say in your work or anywhere else, like you will not gonna understand this person, this man as well. So the root is coming from the father line. So when you're solving this problem, then suddenly you see that how I was getting angry on this person. It's very clear that there is this issue, and that's why this person is acting like this. But before, you are not seeing those things, and you are getting deep into a conflict or into some unhealthy situation. Just yeah. To be make it clear how it's happening.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah, and if there is something else you want to add, then add please. If no, seems like we almost finished.
Right. Yeah, I think we covered almost, like, there is a lot to cover, but it's kind of hard to express with words and in a video. And I think it's an experience that everybody has to go through by him or herself and uncover stuff. But yeah, it was a very interesting experience to go through. I'm glad I went through it. And again, I'm not done, I think, but yeah, thanks for guiding me through that process, Artur. And so it was I think it was a good thing to happen to me.
Yes, thanks a lot, Lusine, for trusting, and because I always think that I need to be deserved to be trusted by someone to do the guidance, and thank you for the trust.
Thank you.
I said other thing.
Yes, makes sense.
Huh.